nothing changes.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Today's video I'm going to bring back the Knight and Three Musketeers deck, and I want to explain a bit by bit how to use it inside of the battle. And the reason that I'm bringing this back is because I got asked a few times to get it back and explain how to get it. Some guys like, you know what, we tried to get the Musketeers into the Crown Towers and we couldn't. Now guys, look into my battle log. I want you to count how many losses I got in the last 24 battles. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. That's a total of 24 battles. I showed you how many battles I lost. I lost only 3. That's a percentage of like 96% win rate. Now, how I did that? Why would this deck actually works with me and it doesn't work with you? Now I will explain everything bit by bit, and so you can get a major understanding on how to use this deck. Now here is a replay on my last battle on the leaderboard, because their season resets within 4 hours, so I thought I would just chill on the classic challenge and try to, you know, play as well as get cards. I don't really go for the grand challenge because the grand challenge costs 100 gems, which is really valuable, but you know, I can't afford to have like all the resources down there at the moment. So I would recommend that you go for the classic challenge if you want just to spend time, or if you want to practice. That's a really good way to do that. Now the first thing that you need to understand, whenever you use a deck that uses a pump inside that deck, you need to protect that deck. Now the reason that you need to protect is because of the return that you get into that pump. Now you spend 5 elixir on that pump and you get a return of 7 elixir. Now 7 elixir, that's not on top of the 5 elixir that you spent. So you get the 5 elixir that you spent along with 2. So total 7 elixir you're getting back on each bump, healthy bump, not damaged one. So a healthy pump all the way for the lifespan for it is going to be 7 elixir. So protecting your bump is very essential. You need to look at the aspects, and you need to look how your opponents play. So if your opponent actually uses a rocket, don't place your bump right behind your crown tower. If your opponent uses a fireball, just make sure you always place it right behind the strongest tower, so you don't get more damage onto your crown tower. Or if your opponent uses poison, and man, if you uses like, you know, poison and lightning, or for instance, or fireball, and he keeps taking the pump out, it's the very best way to play this is by letting the pump go. Don't place your pump, just defend and do like split pushes whenever you can, and wait for the double elixir time, and then you will be able to get like, you know, enough elixir to do your push. Okay, so now we cover the way your cards, your elixir pump is very important. So if you can defend that pump, if your opponent keeps taking it down, make sure you don't drop it, and then, because every single time you drop that, you will lose 5 elixir. Now in here we covered the first part about this deck, and that applies for every single deck, guys. So if you have any deck that has a pump in there, that applies for that. Now the second thing, guys, I want you to look at the battles that I have done. I'm not going to commentate on that. I'm just putting this in there so you can go back as a reference. So I will be showing you 3 different types of battles, so which is like the minor push deck, and I will show you the giant push as well, and that's a giant. I think we will go for the giant bowler one. So, and the third one we will go for air attack. So now we covered the first part, which is the Elixir Collector. In this part we are going to cover why every single card that you have inside of your deck is no more than 4 elixir. Now apart from your pump and your three musketeers, not a single card inside of your deck actually works out more than four elixir. Now, there is a math behind that. Yeah, so it's not there because you know what, I'm going to place every cheap troops inside of the cards collection that I have, and then I will make a deck. Well, it doesn't work this way. Now, the reason that you have the knight in there is because the knight is a tank, is a mini tank, only costs 3 elixir. It has high hit point first, and it has really high DPS per DPS, like, you know, damage per second. So, and we have every single card we have inside of the deck is less than, well, up to 4 elixir, is because the time span that takes the musketeers, if you drop them right behind the king tower all the way to the bridge, that is a total of 4.6 elixir. So technically, if you want to support your musketeers, you want to have something handy, and you can't have something handy if that is more than 4 elixir. So technically, if you drop your musketeers right behind the king tower, by the time they get into the bridge, you will only gain 4.6 elixirs that in the normal time. So if you guys got what I'm saying right now, you will understand how elixir trade works and how the split push works. Now, okay, we will go through that again. Let's say we have the 3 musketeers. We drop the 3 musketeers right behind the king tower, and they will have to walk all the way towards the opponent's crown tower, true? So by the time they get into the bridge, in the normal time, you will be giving 4.6 elixir, along with 1 elixir left, assuming that you drop the musketeers when you had 10 elixir. So you will have about 6 elixir when you get the other round for that elixir. So you will get 6 elixir. So you will be able to support one side of the split push. When you have, like, you know, a musketeer on one side, you can support that with either a knight, or you can support that with a miner, or, you know, the ice spirit or the skeletons in there. Now, this is very important to understand. Now, when you do a split push, you will need to support that lonely musketeer with anything. You can support her with the ice spirit, you can support her with the skeletons, you can support her with the knight, or the poison if necessary. You can use the poison because you will have enough elixir to cover that part. Now, the third and the most important part using the 3 musketeers inside of your deck is when you counter a push. Now, if you get a push on your side, so let's say if your opponent actually going into one side, going to the left side. Now, always, because your opponent is always going for a big push to take one tower out, and technically, if you are using like musketeers, individual musketeers on their own, if you want to drop 2 musketeers, is going to cost you 8 elixir, and they will do the same exact work. So in here, we will have the 3 elixirs, and instead of using the 3 musketeers right on one tower to defend that push, we will use only 2, and always make sure that you have the 3rd musketeer goes into the other tower. Because, like I said, once again, your opponent will be busy you will be busy, like, you know, pushing on one side, and he will be running out of elixir. So that is your opportunity to make one push on one side with that one musketeer split. So you always split your musketeers, man, even if you are going to lose one tower. Always split your musketeers, because that one musketeer is going to be critical inside of the game, and she's going to get you the win inside at the end of the day. Now, in here, I've been facing like air attacks. I showed you air attacks, I showed you how I played against air attacks, I showed you how I played against poison giants, and I showed you how I played against fast decks. Hopefully this is going to explain everything about this deck, guys. Go back to the videos and watch the gameplay, and yeah, this is gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Here you go. 30 20 like 21 wins out of 24. So that is a proof on its own. Now before I finish this video, let's jump into the last classic challenge that I've done. So and we will see what we're going to get out of that chest. So for 10 gems, guys, whatever you get out of that chest is a profit, is something really good. So here guys, 12 wins, no losses whatsoever. And let's open this chest and see what we're going to get out of it. It's very, you know, for 10 gems I'm getting 2000 gold and 100 card. So whatever I get out of it, man, this is a profit for me, and it's gonna add up. Here guys, 2000 gold, which is awesome. I can buy 2 miners and 26 minions, not too bad. 63 bowlers and 10 mega minions for 10 gems, guys. And we will end up with the bowler in here. And this is gonna wrap it up for our today's video, guys. Like, if you like it, please give it a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you guys in the next videos. You be safe and have a good one. This is Rami from Royale Gaming, and I am signing out.